to worry. You made it through the night. The darkness is over. Welcome to the rest of your life.
Something good is going to happen to you.
Change your life. Change your day. 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 Change. You don't have to worry. You made it through the night. Darkness is over. Welcome to the rest of your life.
Something good is going to happen to you.
Change your life. Change your day. 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 Change.
Are you ready? The wait is over. Young Preacher's Advice, the first ever written publication from RevAndreCook. Prophet, overseer, now author, a must-have in your library. Young Preacher's Advice, Volume 1.
Now available on Amazon.com. Or to order your copy of Young Preacher's Advice Volume 1, call 866-922-6995, extension 118.
Are you ready? The wait is over. Young Preacher's Advice, the first ever written publication from RevAndreCook. Prophet, overseer, now author, a must-have in your library. Young Preacher's Advice, Volume 1.
Now available on Amazon.com. Or to order your copy of Young Preacher's Advice Volume 1, call 866-922-6995, extension 118.
You don't have to worry. You made it through the night. Darkness is over. Welcome to the rest of your life.
Something good is going to happen to you.
Change your life. Change your day. 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 Change.
Are you ready to be empowered, enlightened, and enriched? Get ready. Here's your host for the Change Your Day, Change Your Life Empowerment Conference call, Prophet Andre Cook.
Good afternoon, blessings. Thank you for joining me today for the special edition of Live with Pastor Andre Cook. It is Wednesday, and so in this very fine month of May, which is Women's Empowerment Month at the ministry, it is Women's Perspective Wednesday. And get ready, I have been joined by some of the finest, competent, powerful young women I know via the ministry, and I'm excited to present them momentarily as we're going to be discussing the single woman. We're going to look at the aspect of both the ministry and the marketplace. So this is the opportune time to go ahead, tag, like, and share. 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 And go ahead and pick up the phone. There's someone you know that may not be on social media at the moment, but you know they need to be a part of this conversation. So go ahead and let them know it's live with yours truly, Pastor Andre Cook, Senior Minister, Teacher, and Pastor of the Life Chapel, One Church, multiple locations, Newburgh, New York campus pastors, Pastor James and Pamela Peterson. Raleigh, North Carolina, Elder Brandy Womack, along with his wife, Carrie Ann. Then home of the charge service, red brick building, sits on the corner of 182nd Place and Jamaica Avenues, considered the lighthouse, prayer house, powerhouse, firehouse of Jamaica Avenue, the Life Chapel of Hollis, Queens, New York. Let me see, I'm having a technical difficulty on this end. Give me just a moment. I'm sorry. Issue with the music. All right, well, yours truly, Senior Minister, Pastor, Life Chapel, Hollis, Queens, New York, Newburgh, New York, Raleigh, North Carolina, and also considered to be among the most trusted voices in prophecy today. I want you to get ready for what is getting ready to be an explosive moment of empowerment for every woman that is watching. After all, it's Women's Empowerment Month, and I am convinced no one can convince me of anything less that you are God's intent to be a problem solver. And there is nothing like when you are focused, when you are discerning. The result is as Joshua is told, and then thou shalt have good success. I want to encourage you once again, tag, like, and share. And then right now, here is your word from the Lord. Get ready. Something good is getting ready to happen to you, because something good is getting ready to come out all that you have been going through. For the word of God says that we now know that all things work together for the good for them that love the Lord and have been called according to his purpose. And you and I are the purpose of God. Psalms 138, the A clause, says this, easy to read translation: the Lord will fulfill his purpose concerning me. God is going to fulfill his purpose concerning you. And as that is the revelation, it is with the assurance that all things will and is working together for your good. And there is the compensation, the reward of your being faithful. For the Hebrew writer says, do not cast away your confidence, for it has great recompense of reward. That's right. God is going to compensate you with a reward. All it's requiring is that you be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. As much as we know, our labor is not in vain. Have you done so? If you haven't done so, this is the time to do so. Go ahead, tag, like, and share. Let's see who's already joined. Let's see who's joined. Good afternoon, Deborah. Deborah, I see that you're sharing. I appreciate you for sharing. Thank you so much. Also, we're joined by Elder Nisha Jones. Thank you so much. Mother Torres, blessings to you. Thank you for joining. Elder Linda Toms, blessings to you. Jackie, that's the name you go by online, but I know who you are. Blessings to you. Samantha, shalom. Blessings to you. Shireen Plowton, bless you. Tony, blessings to you. My godmother's watching. I've got to be on my best behavior. All right. Sandria Martin, one of the finest deacons that a church has ever had. We are blessed to have her ministry. Blessings to you this afternoon. All right. Tony says the Lord will fulfill his purpose concerning me. Hey. Shaquita Green, good afternoon. Would you all say a prayer for me and my three? I'm not certain what you're saying. But Father, in Jesus' name, you know what Shaquita is attempting to say. And here is our prayer for her. Lord, you are our source. And so, Lord, what her needs are, we look to you as our ultimate source to provide, to meet each of her needs. In Jesus' name, amen. Mother Connie, good afternoon to you. Blessings. Alicia, Erica Hall, I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. You were supposed to be a part of this conversation today. Nia, blessings to you, daughter, one of my earliest members of our church. Blessings to you. Natasha, blessings to you. Viewing from the Queen City. Oh, you must be on because you're supporting one of our guests today. Wouldn't have it any other way. I'll check my text as soon as I go off. All right. Dee Dee, good afternoon to you. All right, Erica. You got to be a part. You got to be a part. You know we appreciate you. All right. Pastor Ushery, blessings to you. I pray that all is well with you and your family. All right. I am excited. It's just about that time to introduce our guests. And all I got to say is get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. All right. We're talking about singleness. And so I read an interesting book a number of years ago by the late Dr. Miles Monroe, and it was on being single, one of the best resources I have read on the subject matter. And he talked about you're single as a result of being unwed, never having been wed. Then he says you can be single as a result of having been married, but now you're estranged or you're separated. So single, separated. Then he says you can become single as a result of a divorce, single, separated, divorce. And then he talked about also you can be single because of death. But what's common, what he discusses is what's common is not the label or the status, you as an individual being whole, being whole. He talks about being whole, being whole. He talks about in the beginning when God brought the male, the female together, that they were two separate individuals who were whole. They were not halves. So Adam did not become 50% for Eve, and Eve not 50% for Adam, but they each were whole. They were whole. God brings two whole persons together. And so I think in the gospel, well, not I think, I know, but I'm thinking of the gospel account where Jesus says to a man, "Wilt thou be made whole?" He didn't ask him, would you be healed, but would you be made whole? And in that discourse, those few moments, the man's response reveals that his issue is more mental and emotional than it is physical. Because his response to Jesus' question having been at the pool for 38 years and not having experienced the healing properties that had been distributed among the troubled water, and those first, not the first individual, but those who were first in the pool as a result of the angel troubling the water or distributing healing properties, those first in the water were healed. But this man has been there 38 years, and then he encounters Jesus, who asks him a simple question: will thou be made whole? Will you be made whole? And his response is revealing. When the water is troubled, I have no one to put me in. You've been hanging around this place of potential help for 38 years. You haven't figured out how to strategize to be near and closest to the edge of the pool. So when it happens, you're among those first in. Jesus never responds to his reply. And then he offers another response. Well, now notice, he says, when I go to step down into the water, notice when I, not as I'm assisted or others, when I go to step in, others get in front of me. What's revealing is he isn't as physically crippled as some would suggest. He's immobilized by his own internal mechanisms. Notice, and get ready for our guests to come in, Jesus' response, or Jesus responds finally, but note the response of Jesus: man, pick up your bed and walk. Pick up your bed and walk. Wait a minute. I thought he couldn't walk. So was it a command of healing property or a command to get over yourself, get over your internal situation that has you in a place of help and not been helped? Pick up your bed and walk. And immediately he did as commanded. So I'm stretching the text. It's and as I stretch the text, my suggestion is all healing, all healing isn't physical. Sometimes the physical healing is the need of an emotional healing, uh, an emotional healing, a mental healing, um, some situation that's beyond what's physical. So the question is, will thou be made whole? And of course, when you are made whole, and if you are whole, it is then and then only, I believe, that you should be seeking to become a lifetime companion and partner with another. So, with that, beloveds, I present to you my panelists. Coming to us first is Shantae Smith. Shantae, blessings to you.
Blessings to you. How are you, sir?
I won't complain. Thank you for asking. Well, Shantae, here we go. I want to hear from you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And I'm grateful that you're in this space today.
I am so happy to be here. Good afternoon to everyone. What a way to set the stage for this afternoon. So my name is Shantae Smith. I am presently serving as the senior pastor designate of Crown Church of Charlotte. I see them in the chat. So C3, I love you. To my parents, my amazing pastors, Bishop Jonathan and Pastor Sabrina Shaw, to my grandfather and the spirit prophet Cook. I'm here as a single woman, but not just a single woman. I am here as an educated woman. I have graduated from Bennett College for Women with my bachelor's. I went to Harvard Divinity School and obtained my master's of divinity. I attended Princeton for an advanced certificate in youth ministry, and I'm finishing up a certificate at Cornell for business, women in business. So definitely excited. I love God. I love to get to the bag as well. And I'm looking to be a whole, well-rounded woman. So when my man finds me, he finds a good thing.
Ah, excellent. Excellent. All right. Also is Ashley. Ashley, blessings. I'm excited that you are a part of our conversation today, as well as a member of our assembly. Bless you. Ashley, tell us about yourself.
Bless you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Elder Ashley Dos Reese. I am a member, a proud member of the Life Chapel. I have been there for about roughly 2 years now. I'm so excited to be a part. Thank you so much again, Pastor, for this opportunity. I am just a servant. I'm a single woman, yes, but I am also, I work in healthcare. I've been in healthcare for about, without telling my age, about 18 or 19 years. I also have my own business, A Class Beauty LLC, where it's a beauty suite. We do everything from lashes to hair to body contour, everything. And I'm just happy to be a part today to share on the topic. I'm also furthering my degree, getting my RN and, different things, also going back to school for ministry. So I'm excited about that. And I'm just excited to see where God is going to take us for this afternoon.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Our next panelist is Ebony. Ebony, I am sorry. I didn't get your, well, I'm
Gould.
not so, Gould. All right. Ebony Gould. Ebony, thank you for joining us. Tell us about yourself.
Absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Pastor Cook. I am so grateful. I am Ebony Gould. I am a minister. I was previously at Broken to Be Made Whole with Overseer Tanisha Bynum is where I started my ministry. Such a blessing. And I am from North Hollywood, California. I'm now in New York and learning the ropes of New York. And I'm blessed to be here. I used to work in social work. I now own my own business. I do makeup with this Lady Kiss LLC. And I'm here for the single women, relatable women that are just in ministry and understanding what life throws at us these days. And here to be, I want to accept all the things that they're saying as well, learn from these women, because you've also said, I want to make sure I learn from you. I mean, I'm your biggest fan, so I'm blessed.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We're going to be joined momentarily as well again by Dr. Shalonda Brusford, who was with us, was it a week ago or two? She was on the segment of, that was last week, I believe, the entrepreneur. And so I'm grateful that all of you had joined. Now, Ebony, if I'm correct, I heard you say you are formerly from Hollywood, Florida?
North Hollywood, California. I'm from Cali.
North Hollywood, California. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I thought you said Florida, Hollywood, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, you and I need to have a conversation because I absolutely love Hollywood, Florida. It is one of the places I love to vacation.
Okay.
Okay, so, but you're from Cali. You're from the
Mm-hmm.
West Coast. All right, I see others have come in. Pastor Nicole Aline, I see you've joined us. Vanessa, I see you've joined us. Charette, you've joined us. Just want to holler out at some. Antoine, hey, Antoine, I bust his chop when I come around him. I give him a hard way to go. Antoine, I appreciate you. Yeah, you guys are wonderful. All right, well, let's jump into these questions. Pastor Shante, you get to start us off. And so, question number one. Here's question number one. What are the benefits in being single?
Well, since I've been single for 38 years, I can say that there are a lot of benefits. Number one, and my overarching answer would be freedom, Prophet. Freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom to discover purpose. I absolutely love being single. I've been able to travel the entire world. One of my friends, I believe she's on now, we've traveled to Australia. We've gone to Thailand. All of this was actually in one trip as well. We were gone for like 3.5 weeks. I've been able to discover my purpose. I'm currently sitting in my office, in which I would assume in 58 days to be a senior pastor, finding out who I am. So the benefits of being a single woman is that I'm able to come and go as I please. I'm able to show up for things that I feel purposeful and called to, and I'm able to say no, which is a definite answer.
Wonderful. Excellent. And, Shante, Paul speaks about being single, or he actually encourages being single. And I believe your comments concur with Paul. Not only was Paul saying being single, it affords you the opportunity of ministry unrestricted, but Paul also, like yourself, was well-rounded, well-educated, and it appears he was able to accomplish those things without the ministry of marriage, because marriage is a ministry, and God recognizes both the institution and the ministry of marriage. And so the rules are going to change as well as one's favor. What do you think about that, Shante? Because I heard you when your man finds you, what is it going to look like? Is there going to be any changes?
Oh, absolutely. But I believe that it's going to be on the beautiful foundation of wholeness, like you were sharing. I desired when I was younger, I'm sure my other sisters can say the same thing. I thought that I would get married in my early 20s. And I know that I have a passion. I'm going to be a phenomenal mother. But the truth of the matter is I needed this time to find me, because what's the sense of having a partner without a purpose? What's the sense of being married and it has no definition? Or because we're kingdom women, it doesn't push the local church or the kingdom at large forward. What is the purpose of the partnership? So for me, I know that I'm bringing the table to the table, right? Because I know that I'm going to be able to say, as the Bible shares, that we are the help meet. I know the areas that I'm called to help because I know what my strengths are.
Shantae, girl, that is great. Ashley, same question for you. What are the benefits of being single?
Yes, sir. Well, I believe the benefits for me for being single is that I don't have to answer to anyone. I
Mm,
can be about my father's business. If you call a revival and it goes on until 1, 2 in the morning, I can stay.
mm,
I don't have to
okay.
call my husband and say, honey, Pastor called. I have to stay. I have to go here. I have to do this. Just basically like Pastor Shantae said, the freedom of it, until like she said, our husband finds us, I'm able to just kind of be about my father's business. First Corinthians 7:32, it talks about just taking your responsibility and taking care of me
Yes.
first and making sure that I am whole first before I can become equally yoked to someone. So just the freedom of it, and coming and going as I please, and really just getting to know me and my relationship with Christ is first before anything else. And I believe that that is the foundation of me being able to even come to um marry someone. Before I can do that, I have to get to marry me first and know me first. So that's
Mm,
my
mm,
benefit. That's my
wow.
benefit.
I like it. I like what you just said, Ashley. You are married to yourself. You are married to yourself. And as I've said earlier, that marriage is a ministry. And so ministry is work. So is it safe to say that you're also saying in being married to yourself, you're taking the time to work on yourself, to work on the things that you desire to do, the things that are complementing to your purpose, the things that
Absolutely.
contribute to your business and your and your professional endeavors presently. You're coming to us from your workplace now. One
Right.
of two, yeah,
Yes.
because you're in business as well. So thank you for that. I think that's awesome, Ashley.
Thank you,
Boy,
Pastor.
it's tough in here already. This space is tough. It's tough. I need to call Bishop Shaw. I need some help. Dr. Shaw. Dr. Shaw. Somebody get Dr. Shaw. Ebony, same question. What are the benefits in being single, or what have the benefits been in being single?
I'm going to agree with what both ladies said. And to be completely honest, that's all I see. It's really just having that direct communication with God, with a lot of things that we go through in ministry and life. When you're married, you take it to your husband for his understanding and things that, you might want to commune with him about. But when you're single, all you have is God. So it increases that intimacy with him. So I can say that that's really the benefit. Other than that, I'm waiting God.
Ah, I love that. I love that. And what I'm hearing you say, Ebony, is that it's been a benefit spiritually. It's been
Yes.
a great benefit spiritually. Awesome. We've been joined by Dr. Shalonda. She's finally got her technical difficulties resolved. Dr. Shalonda, we already know enough about you, so I need you to jump in right here. And the question is, what are the benefits, or what has the benefit of being single have been for you?
Hello, sisters. Hey, father of mine. I would honestly say being able to spend my own money and do what I want to do, the financial freedom of it all, and definitely the relationship that we're able to have with God. God shows you different things. He shows up as the mechanic. He shows up as the person who takes the garbage out. He shows up for me. And I feel like this is the best opportunity for me to know him, because there's certain things that my husband is going to demand that requires me to at least have a relationship with God that's undeniable.
Excellent. Dr. Shalonda, you said something, and I want to kind of mix it up here. the other ladies dealt with it, but you were just a little more forceful and direct. You said money,
Yes.
having your own money. So am I hearing you say that you understand that when you get married, then the money is shared money, which means it's likely that there has to be, it should be a discussion about the shared money and spending. Could I ask this question? With
Yes.
that being said, Dr. Shalonda, since you said it, I'm only going where you brought me. Uh,
Okay.
Once you get married, what is it going to be like to discuss spending?
Everyone has a different relationship with money. Money is also one of the top reasons why people divorce. With that being said, he would also have to have money, and he would have to have a good relationship with money and how money works and how it leaves and it comes back. He would have to respect money. And I feel like that's at my top right now, that whole money piece. Once I get married, our money, my money is our money.
Mm.
And you wasn't here when I was shooting in the gym. Like, you wasn't here when I was working towards this money, when I was building this empire. And now we have to share what I have created. So I need to make sure that that relationship that he has with money matches with my relationship with finances.
I like what Erica just said. Erica says it should be a conversation while in the courting phase. And so we'll revisit that. But
Right.
you answered my question, but you didn't answer my question. Yeah, and then it took you a moment. It took you a moment. But hey,
I don't care. So
your truth, listen, one of the things I love about you, Shalonda, and I appreciate about you is your transparency, your absolute honesty. I think you are a female counterpart of myself. We speak our truth. We speak how we feel, without consideration of the presentation being polished. It's just, hey, money, and then your conversation is also revealing. And because I'm your pastor and your father, I'm aware of a number of things, and the biggest thing is where you've come from, the struggle, from the time in which you entered my life, and I began to parent you, if I could use the term, because there's a difference between shepherding from a spiritual and professional standpoint versus that pastoring that involves a parental guidance as well. And Paul speaks about having many educators, teachers, but only one father. And so I've seen where you've come from and the struggle and having to hold on to your ID and your cards, so you could cash a check and things of those nature. People don't know the history, but I've seen where you have come to. And let's be honest, money is freedom.
Right.
Money is freedom. It's power because it's freedom. It affords you the ability to do the things that you want to do. And I think that oftentimes when people get married, one of the issues become, you're constricting my freedom. You're constricting a level of my freedom. Just in a transparent moment, I remember being told by my ex-wife, and here's a story. Let me just abbreviate it and cut to the chase. A situation arose. I was the breadwinner. Well, we both were working, but I was carrying the load as the provider. And there was only one time I ever asked her for any assistance. And she told me no. And her reasoning, well, this was her reasoning. She said, my father said, your money is our money, and my money is my money. And I accepted it, but it drove a wedge between us that we never recovered from. we never recovered from it. And it didn't just sever the tide. It caused a rift. It just continued. It was always underlying. And my thing was, her thing was, this was her thing. You're supposed to be the provider, protector, the priest, all these things. And I said to her that this was my premise was, but you're supposed to be a helper. And the time in which we have been together, I've never asked you for anything financially. And what I asked for was a loan. I just asked for a loan. This loan me this so I could take care of this, and I'll get it back to you in 60 days, 90 days. And
Can we dig into this for a second?
of course,
Can we dig
Shantae.
into this? So I believe all of us on this lineup today are in ministry in some way, shape, or form. I think that this is powerful what you're kind of delivering to us from a man's perspective, because I believe he's still here. So let me be very careful. My father, yes, he's here. I see the comments. My father is an alpha male. Okay. I have a lot of alpha men in my life, and to serve them all of my life has put me in a place respectfully that I know how to submit, but it's also put me in a place of dominance where I learned how to, as a woman, not only submit, but to prepare. To the point that I am self-sufficient. And I think for this emerging generation, Prophet, we as women, and I believe we're going to get there, and I don't want to get ahead of the conversation, but it's just, this is something that my friends and I talk about all the time, because we're degreed women. We're mature women. We're getting married older in life, so we have more experience than our predecessors. And money makes you more of who you really are. The more money you have, it amplifies your character. So if you were stingy with $10, you're going to be stingy with 6 figures. If you weren't a sower on the level that you are as 100 there, you're never going to be able to be a millionaire. And I think that sometimes we rush the courting phase because he looks good, because the counterpart, because he can wine and dine you. But the true essence is, what are we partnering for? What is the fullness of the purpose that we have? What are you coming to the table with? And money needs to be discussed. I'm with Shalonda. I am literally in my Bible, but you better believe I'm about that bag. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I do what I want. I go where I want. I spend what I want because I make the money. I'm in a place financially where I'm also willingly not taking a salary from my church because I have my own money. So when you have that kind of freedom and liberty to live on your own time, I believe it also changes the conversation. And what kind of partner are you looking for? I think you lay all cards on the table. What kind of man would he be? Do you care if your husband makes more money than you? Does it make you insufficient as a woman? And can you still submit if you make more money than him? These are some of the questions that are on the table on my friend circle, to say submission or partnership is not going to be strained. But I believe that as a woman, I've seen so many marriages struggle and fight because of the tides of money. I made a decision in and of myself that my husband, he's going to win, and he's going to win big, because here's what I got it. I have an LLC. I have a trust. I have a financial portfolio. And it's not about having a prenup. And it's not even about having an exit strategy, because I'm marrying until Jesus comes, or I'm going to kill him. Edit that part, right? But I know that if sex, if money, and power are the 3 dominant reasons why people get divorced, let's start working on those things so we don't have to be repeat offenders.
Excellent. Shantae, great place to segue. So since you are speaking to us, let me ask you our next question. Let's begin with you again. And it is, as a single woman in ministry, why do you want to get married or be married?
So I believe that the timing is approaching. It's not yet now, but I'm exhausting what I can do in my singleness. Again, I've been able to live. I've been able to have time with family. I've been able to have time with friends. And it's not so much that I'm needy as much as I now want it. And I believe that I'm prepared for it because I'm at a place that I'm exhausting what I can do in my own strength. So there's a need for a partnership. I'm ministering to the people. Who's going to minister to me? I'm at that point in life. I'm ministering, I'm giving of myself, and I'm fulfilled. And I believe that having a partner is going to take my life to the next level because I've done all that I can do by myself.
My partner is going to take my life to the next level. Shantae, girl, you's a bad mama jama. Ebony, same question. As a single woman and in ministry, why do you want or desire to be married?
Um, Marriage isn't just a goal, it's more of an assignment to me. And when you understand covenant, you understand the importance of it. And I want a partner. I grew up in a two-parent home with my mother and father, and I saw the difference in what that brings to a family, to your children. And being that I am a single mother, that is my heart's desire. And God said that He'll give me that. So I'm working and preparing myself to be the wife, be the good thing that my husband will find. And like, I just really want to be, I'm whole as He's making me whole already. But like she said, having your husband, I can deal better. I can go further in life with a partner, not a boyfriend, not a homeboy, but a partner, and live out those goals. So
Um,
live out our vows.
Let me ask this question. I like what you said, especially about assignment. Let me be blunt. Do you really believe what you just said, that marriage and being married is an assignment? I'd like you to further elaborate, Ebony.
I do believe in assignment. Men were brought here to, we were brought here to procreate, to
Yeah.
multiply, so, and do it the right way. We're not supposed to be out here defiling our beds. So you're supposed to do it the appropriate way. And we are the better thing. We are the solutions. So I do believe that. Let me be the solution to your problem so that in return, we will be each other's assignment.
Somebody's paying attention to my teaching this month. Women, I am convinced that you are God's solution, and we are better because of you, and we are with problems without you. You are God's key to the world's problems today. I believe that He entrusted the seed of the woman, which would be Christ, to redeem humanity, and He has continued to entrust women with redeeming qualities, qualities to redeem. Ashley, same question. As a single woman and in ministry, why do you want to be married?
Yes, sir. I believe my answer is pretty simple, sir, and it is that we are better together. The last couple of weeks, I believe for about the last 3 weeks, sir, you have been really teaching on partnership, and not just
Yes.
partnership as far as us partnering together in ministry, but you've been giving the woman so many different jewels as far as submission, and the man cannot produce without us. We were sent
Absolutely.
here. I don't want to get ahead of the questions, but we were literally sent here to be a helpmeet. And because I know, like Minister Ebony said, what my assignment is, my assignment is here. I am here to help the man produce. And because I am a helpmeet, I believe that that is what I'm supposed to do. So as a woman in ministry, I believe that, one can chase 1,000, but two can chase 10. So I
Yeah.
need my partner to help me. I help him chase the one, he helps me chase the 10. Now together, once God loves covenant,
Mm.
so once we're in covenant and we're together, we can take over in Jesus' name.
Awesome.
Right.
Woo. Dr. Shaw, I don't understand why you're not in this space so I could bring you into this. Dr. Shaw, I need help. The old man needs help. The old man needs help. Dr. Shalonda, same question. As a single woman in ministry, why do you want to be married? What's you doing, girl?
Well, the Bible tells us that if we cannot contain, that it is better to get married than it is to burn. And I believe that I am in search of a greater level of understanding of commitment with someone, what it feels like to wake up every day and have your person and to have your best friend, the person that you can count on and pray with. So that's my reason for wanting to be married. Like I want the fulfillment. I want everything that God promised me. And he did promise me a husband. So I want those things.
But you going somewhere again. You started with money. You started with money. Now I'm following where the answers take me. Your response to your first statement, the Bible says, it's
Yes.
better to marry than to burn.
Yes.
Well, that speaks, as Paul is teaching the church of Corinth, he is saying it is better to enter into a marital relationship to avoid a sexual passion. You're
Right.
burning in your passion. So
Right.
if I'm correct now, I'm hearing you saying that you're in a place, or you'll be in a place that you would rather enter into the wholesome covenant of marriage to prevent the passion of your lower nature
Right.
to become a problem to all
For
you
me.
worked for.
Absolutely.
Speaking from experience,
Absolutely.
now, you know, I'm transparent without necessarily being translucent. I've been, my entire adult life has been committed to the ministry. I've been saved since I was 17, actually 15. And I'm now 61 years young. And so much of what I have done, both positively, done righteously, has occurred in the church. And the errors, the mistakes, the failings I've occurred has been since I've been saved. And I've only considered myself to have backslidden one time. And it wasn't really backslidden. I just left my place of assignment and my assignment. Um, the marriage bed is God's solution for both male and female
Mhm.
from a gift he has bestowed upon humanity for the sake of both procreation and pleasure.
Absolutely.
Shantae, I'd like to hear from you here. Just jump in here with this.
So, not that I'm torn, because I'm very clear, and I agree with my big sis, Shalonda, Dr. Shalonda, but we have to be careful. At least it's how I feel. You have to be careful with your intent. I believe all of us are of age that the biological clock is ticking. Um, Doctors would say if you're not, pregnant by now or ready to start a family, that you should start to freeze your eggs because you'll have a geriatric pregnancy. And all of these social media, and even, let's be honest, ministry messages for singleness push us to have urges or to have temptations or to be on a clock that if we're not ready, I believe sometimes we make a hasty decision. We
Mm,
make a permanent decision for a temporary satisfaction. Now, I'm not saying
mm,
that our lifestyle and our urges are not real, but what I am saying is I'm more focused on the well-roundedness of a person than if he can just satisfy me. Because I've also seen women, and I'm only speaking as a woman and a woman in ministry, sacrifice their purpose to get a ring. And I'm not willing to
mm.
do that. I've
Wow,
worked too hard. I've
wow.
given God a yes, and I'm too accomplished to let a ban limit me because I chose wrong.
To let a band limit me. I'm moving away from Shantae. Let me just go on over here with this next question. Ashley, our third question. What are your struggles? And then what are your strengths of being single? So, what are your struggles? And then your strengths in being single.
Well, I would say that the struggle is just to be, a human answer is sometimes, we can become lonely,
Mm,
and especially when you have your friends, your counterparts who are married, or even in relationships, it's hard for us women who are in ministry to even date appropriately, because let's be honest, the dating pool, I want to say it correctly without, but you told me I can be myself. They
Yeah.
say that the dating pool has pee in it. and 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 I mean, they say that because, in other words, it's tainted. It's not a lot out there. And when you are in ministry, we are looking for a certain type of man. I need a man that's going to be able to pick me up in the spirit, that can get a prayer through for me when I'm not feeling well, or when I have a ministry assignment. And then it's just not a lot of kingdom connections. So that's a struggle for me in ministry. um and I would say the strengths are, like I said before, just being able to go to Christ as my head. He is the head of all heads. He's the head, even when I do get married, he would be the head of my husband. So the only strength that I would have right now is just cleaving on to God in my relationship with him. But it is a struggle as far as dating. And that's why I'm in a position right now where I'm not even looking. Whatever God, sends to me, that's where I will go with it. But for now, I'm just letting him lead the way, because my picker is broke, like my mother would say. My mother, the overseer, Dr. Cheryl Dos Reed, she has passed, but she used to tell me, girl, your picker is broke. You need help. So I'm letting God choose for me.
I remember your mother, such a sweet woman of God. Ebony, same question as rather, what are your struggles and your strengths with being single?
I would say my struggles are this is the silence. The
Mm,
silence that I hear sometimes coming home, or after I actually have a day alone when the kids are away and homework is done, everything's done and it's still just me. Or those days after ministry and you drain from praying all day and there's no one to say, hey, are you okay? Or hey, let me pour this back into you, as far as like my covering, you know what I mean? So that is one of the struggles, I would say. Um, that takes a lot, the silence. My strength, though, I want to say, you as you were speaking about the loneliness and being alone, is totally different, because I've been both. But now that my intimacy with God has increased to a point to where I don't feel lonely,
mm.
I understand God has replaced that loneliness feeling with more of him. So it's so different for me, and I'm able to sit down and understand and increase my discernment to where when I am approached by somebody, I know where this is either assignment, or it's not me just want to say, hey, big head, he's handsome. I know, like, no, this is somebody I need to pray for, so I can lead with purpose and not pleasure.
Oh, wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you. Awesome. Shantae, please, your struggle and strength being single.
So actually, it's aligned to what my mother just asked in the chat. I guess the biggest struggle for me has been the fact that some of the men that I've encountered tried to make me feel bad for being accomplished. I hear often, "Oh, you're intimidating," and then I had to speak to my father about it, and he said a real man wouldn't be intimidated. I said, "Okay." Another,
Shantae, can I jump in right there just so I don't
absolutely,
forget
sir.
it? I'm not writing, I'm
You
capturing your
want me to know
statement.
I see your
I
food?
think that is a very, very, very interesting fact and point of discussion. And thank you, Dr. Shaw, for sharing that with Shantae. I think I recently said this in one of our teachings. Mature men are never intimidated by the strength of whether the woman is his wife or not, or women overall. I was sharing this the other night because I believe in women in ministry. I believe in promoting women. I believe in co-laboring with women. Um, and I have met with pushback at times, um, especially among brother clergy, about women and their positions in church. And while I hear the dogma and said doctrine, I also hear insecurities, and the same men who are threatened by the same men who are threatened by now, ladies, please, would y'all get, I know you all are business women and you're at various things. Can we go to 415, please? If you can stay on, I appreciate it. If not, I understand. I'm doing my best not to exceed the time and respect the team. But one of my favorites is getting ready to join the conversation. And I think that he has something to add to this, but most of all, because you brought him up, Shante. But I believe that I promote the idea that you're less to men. You're less than when you're intimidated by your partner. You know, there was no greater joy, again, being transparent, when I was married than fulfilling my role as a man. But there was an equal joy when the woman I was married to was about her best, and in fact, some made the assumption that, it wasn't about I know what it is to be a silent partner in my wife's business. And I didn't want to be pronounced. I wanted her to do her thing, and we were equally benefiting, but to be able to say, hey, I was intimidated. Please welcome my son. I'm a champion of this guy. I'm a fan. We're beyond that stage. And this guy right here, and Shante, I hear him in your voice and the teachings. Dr. Shore, please, you gotta, since we have I only have one other question, but I want you to come in right here. I want to do two things from you real quick. And then we're gonna address the last question. Dr. Shore, you put in the comment concerning, because Shalonda brought up money. And I like Shalonda, because Shalonda's going, boom. She's probably a chip off the old block, because sometimes you have to pull me in. Sometimes I'm just talking, you're the polished, no secret here. I keep Jonathan Shaw around because he's gonna make me look good, and he knows how to pull me in when I'm on the ledge. But Dr. Shaw, you talked about 4 accounts. I want you to address that, and then I want you to circle back to Shante sharing with us as she spoke about. Well, Sabrina brought it up. Do you all find men are intimidated by you and your accomplishments? And so I want you to talk about that. Would y'all all share some love? Dr. Jonathan Shaw.
Wow. Prophet, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the conversation. I come to rescue you. I don't know, you don't need too much rescuing. You're doing a great job. But I come here to just join this wonderful, amazing conversation. And thank you for having these kinds of conversations, because we're not having enough of them in the church world. And so thank you for allowing this space. But the comment went along the lines of finances. And it's important. And we got some amazing, beautiful, accomplished women that are on today, one of which is my daughter, of whom I am well pleased. This is an opportunity, really, for us to see finances from the perspective of accomplishment, but not only accomplishment, because marriages end in divorce, and one of the top 3 reasons is money. And that's for people who are well accomplished and those who don't have a lot of money. But 4 accounts keeps every marriage successful. Not the dollar amount, but the percentages. When you look at the percentage, it all works, whether you have $1 million or whether you have $10. Look at the percentage. 4 accounts. His account, he can do what he wants with his money. Her account, she can do what she wants with her money. But then both of them contribute to their own account, their checking account that's combined in together, and they can both spend from that account. And when you have that kind of account set up, then you have to have a rule with that account, and that rule is based upon your income. For instance, Pastor Sabrina and I, who've been married 26 years, we have a $500 rule. The $500 rule says this: you cannot spend more than $500 from our joint checking account without giving the other party's permission. So we have our account that we both can spend from, but we have rules with our account. And then we have our savings account that we both contribute together. And so those four accounts keeps a marriage successful and working. In regards to an accomplished woman, real men are not intimidated by accomplished women. Boys are. If you're messing with a little boy, he's intimidated by your success because he hasn't arrived there yet. Whether it is emotionally, mentally, psychologically, or even anatomically, if he just is not there yet. But if you are accomplished, a real man will celebrate that, enjoy that, and like Prophet said, will even be a silent partner in it because your accomplishment speaks to the accomplishment of the whole team. So it's not intimidating by a solid man.
I thought you were going to do just what you did. Give us great clarity. You're a master at that, and I enjoy it. And the preacher you have become, but the businessman, the educator. There's no greater joy than to sit as a experienced preacher, spiritual father, pastor, and to hear the depth of one you have watched matriculate through these various seasons. And then to sit here now, and I have a granddaughter in the spirit. And, and she's a chip off the old block, powerful. So listen, so I don't overwhelm the time. I'm already on overtime. Let's just get to this final question. Shantae, and then each one thereafter question. How are you preparing to be a wife?
This is a great question, and I'm going to be extremely practical. My friend and I were talking last night, and I said, there's another version of me that's calling. And I woke up at 5 a.m. and I was exercising. I'm preparing naturally, my actual body, because I understand that my body is going to have to carry the strength, not only of my assignment, but bringing someone else like a partner into my life. It's going to put another demand. Proverbs 31 talks about that she rises up early before her house. And I said, I don't have a family yet. But let me get into practice and in the habit. So I was up. I'm a part of the 5 a.m. club. I'm also preparing in my finances, clearing up my debt, my credit score, being able to have my utilization rate for my credit be under 30%. I'm doing those practical things so that when it is time to buy investment property, which is something that I would do with my husband, I am not the liability. Because then he'll say, well, what were you doing in your single season? So there's some practical, natural things that I'm doing. Yes, prayer, fasting, study of the word, but some natural things, getting my body, getting my finances together, reading audiobooks, because I understand that my mind can't be a cap on the dream that we'll have together. So those are some natural things that I'm doing: mindset, personal development, financial literacy, and also getting this good loving together, Prophet.
Ashley, what are you doing? How are you preparing to be a wife, to become a
Yes,
wife?
sir. Well, first, I have to say that I have fully submitted to God and my calling. And I know that once I am fully aligned and submitted to Him, that everything else will come in. The Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all other things will be added. And all other things are what I desire, right? So if I desire to be a wife, that will be added unto me. And also fixing my credit, I've also recently enrolled into therapy. So getting my emotions together and fixing me and the things that I need to deal with before I can take on a husband. And also, a lot of people talks about Proverbs 31, but nobody really deals with Ruth 3 and 4, where, she told her how to go and get her husband, lay at his feet, be kind. Boaz liked her because she was kind to him. So I'm learning to get my kindness together and not be so, demanding and strict and independent and strong, and showing that I can be meek, and kind. So that's how I am preparing.
Awesome. My God. Ebony, what are you doing to prepare to become a wife?
I would have to agree with both ladies as well. Being one, because I was in a household with one for many years. And so my mother actually got cancer, and throughout that process when she was sick, I had to step up as the woman of the house. So I understood what that meant at a young age. I understood the to death do you part, the sickness and wealth, and sickness and health. So being a partner is more than just saying, hey, this is my man. It's preparing yourself for if your husband mother gets sick and she may have to move in. So like you said, expanding that, being ready, mind, body, and soul, emotionally, intellectually, not bringing old baggage into a new man who didn't cause that baggage. So being clear and ready.
Dr. Shalonda had to leave us, but Dr. Shaw, I want you to give us our final comments here from not from a pastor, bishop, but from a man's perspective. What would you say to these ladies that they should be doing in preparation to become wives?
I think what's amazing, all the things that they said is necessary to become a wife. Um, and what's more intentional is how to become his wife. So you can do all of the education of learning those concepts and doing those things and reading those books, which you should do, therapy, all of that is wonderful, all that is good. But every man is not made the same, and they require different things. Some men want a fresh meal every night. Some men don't mind eating leftovers. Some men don't mind flannel in their bed. Others need lingerie. It's not important to be a wife. What is important to be is his wife. So while you're in the school of learning yourself, you will eventually enroll in the school of learning him. And you will be a lifelong student there. And you will forever learn him because he will ever evolve as you will. And as he evolves, you have to learn the new man and the new man that he is and has become. But I want to say this in this very valuable conversation today, that most people don't embrace the singleness of marriage. The singleness of marriage says that even while I'm married, I have to maintain personal wholeness. We have to be very careful that we don't treat our spouses as knight in shining armors. We don't treat our spouses as our mothers who's going to save us or a man who's just going to rescue us. We must see that as a partnership, a merger of two companies, if you would. And they are not assigned to rescue you from life circumstances that you couldn't get yourself out of in your singleness. So make sure that you maintain personal single wholeness. I have to be a better Jonathan so that I am available to be a better husband to Sabrina. But before I do that, I have to be a good Jonathan, whatever that takes. So I have to, in my marriage, singly work on me so that I am available for her. She has to do the same thing. So I know you're single now, which means you're not married. But there's an element of that singleness you're going to take into a marital covenant that still requires you to maintain who you are so that you can show up for your marital unit.
I didn't expect anything less. I knew you wouldn't fail. Awesome. Wow. Learning him. Now, I'm going to ask each of you. Let me first, Dr. Shalonda, of course, isn't with us in this space. Thank you, Dr. Shalonda. Ashley, thank you. Shantae, thank you. Ebony, thank you. Of course, Dr. Shaw, what would a conversation of this depth be without your voice? I appreciate you and coming in and giving great voice to these subject matters at hand. Thank you. But I'm going to ask you all, each of you, including Dr. Shalonda, in the future, can we do a part two? Can we do a part two? I think that we hit something. I'm getting all type of comments and people actually texting my phone. Some are begging us to continue to go on, and we're all learning to master the art of time management. And I have to respect each of their times. Dr. Shore, I called him and he came into the space. I think myself and maybe Sabrina are the only two people in his life will interrupt his calendar. He has none when it comes to me. I'll be very honest. Jonathan, John, where you at? I think he knows now. If I say, where are you? That means you're preaching for me or you're doing something for me, as if he doesn't have crown and all that comes along with that. And I thank Sabrina because, and only in the Andre Cook's language, and it's not an intent to be disrespectful, but I say to her every time I say, this is a threesome. We share him, and I really appreciate it. Thank you all. I think it's awesome. Anyone that wants to be a blessing, it's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. On Wednesdays, I ask for a gift of $4 or derivatives of 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, whatever you can sow or with desire to sow. Certainly, many of us are believers, so we already know what the scriptures and the promises are concerning giving. I wanted to give you something, but in giving you something, this conversation, if you feel led to give back to the space in the moment, I would certainly appreciate that, and it will help me continue to do what we do in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Hey, beloveds, hey, listen, us all still in this one. Let's go. I just want to remind you of these few things. Remember these words. If it's not on your mind, it's not in your future. Elevate your mind, your feet will follow. You do not live a positive life with a negative mind. You cannot. Let me reiterate, you cannot offer to people what you do not have. And you're to make your smile, your style. It is the law of attraction. Your frown repels. Smile your way into favor. Smile your way into blessings. And with that, God's blessings be upon the rest of you, the remainder of this day. God's blessings be upon you. Shalom,
Hello.
shalom, shalom. God bless.